All right, you guys, it's a very uncertain time right now because of the coronavirus and everything that's being affected, whether it's your health or your money. The world is it's insane right now. It's crazy. But one thing is true, that I believe in the American economy enough to tell you that we are going to be okay. I promise. We are going to be okay. There is hope still when it comes to your money. Now, there are things that we cannot control, what goes on statewide or in Washington. There's a lot of things that we can control. And what we can control is what happens in our homes and our personal finances. So making sure that we don't make decisions based on fear, but on facts. So this spring, all of the episodes of The Rachel Cruze Show were shot before all this happened. And you'll see that I was pregnant during it too, and I'm not anymore. But it still works. I mean, all the content in these episodes, they still ring true. So no matter what is happening in the economy, things might be a little bit harder at times for sure, but I hope this content brings you hope. I hope it brings you life, and I hope it brings you some really great tactics to help you with your money. So here's today's episode. Have you started spring cleaning your house yet? Well, what about your budget? All right, spring is in the air and it's nice outside, not too hot yet, and I'm still pregnant. Just kidding. Okay, we've said it before. We've taped some of these episodes in advance so that I could be out on maternity leave enjoying my sweet baby boy. So there's just a few more of these pregnant episodes left. So soak it in, people, soak it in. But this week, I'm really excited because we're going to talk about your favorite, you guys, spring cleaning. That's right. And not just spring cleaning, but also spring cleaning your budget. I'm going to talk to someone who cleaned up their budget and their whole life by paying off $16,000 in just 9 months so far. Incredible. And I partnered with Women's Day to show you some fun ways to keep your life organized, which Lord knows I need. All right, so let's dive in. I know a lot of people think of a budget as something that limits freedom. I know this because I was one of them. But just like getting all the old clothes out of your closet and into a yard sale, or finally Marie Kondoing your kitchen, there is a sense of relief once it's done. So both spring cleaning and budgeting can actually give you freedom and space to do more of what you want to do. So here are 3 tips for spring cleaning your budget. Number 1, tackle one area at a time. Just like when you clean out your house, it's easier to pick one small room to get started and go after it. And once that task is done, then you go on to something larger. And the same is true with your budget. Don't focus on saving for retirement and funding kids' college and paying off debt, all these things at once. It can get overwhelming so quickly. So start with baby step 1, get $1,000 saved for an emergency, and then tackle each baby step from there. Now, for a video on all 7 baby steps, click the link in the show notes to check it out. Number 2, start with a small task. If you begin organizing your bedroom, it's best to start somewhere small and simple, like cleaning out a drawer just to get yourself in the groove, get some progress going, you feel good, you do. And the same is true when you're paying off your debts. So that's why we recommend the debt snowball. This is where you target one debt at a time, starting with the smallest. Get those small wins, keeps you motivated and keeps you in the process. And last but not least, number 3, don't be afraid to rearrange. Sometimes you just need to rearrange a room and it looks brand new. And the same is true with your budget. I recently had to rearrange our budget because our water bill was so high. It was like $100 high. Yep. We turned on the irrigation system, bad choice, like all the things. So we got the bill and we were like, oh God. So then I opened up every dollar and I started pulling $20 from different categories like babysitting, clothes. Each of the girls' categories got some money taken out, miscellaneous, just to fund this water bill. And it was great though, because Winston has every dollar on his phone. And so it just updates live and boom, we're both on the same page. So if you've not looked at every dollar, you guys, you have to check out this app. It changes everything. Seriously, click the link in the show notes. Now notice, when I got the high water bill, we didn't just pull the money out of savings. We took our budget and rearranged it so that we could fund that bill. So that's a game changer too. All right, next up, let's talk about that scary drawer no one wants to open. you know, that scary drawer with like all the rubber bands and pencils and matches, like a bunch of other stuff you don't use anymore? The junk drawer. Sometimes you just need to open that sucker up and clean it out. I feel like that's what Winston and I have been doing the last probably like 3 weekends. We've literally gone through every inch of our house and we've started purging because we're moving. And so we're taking on this whole different mindset of like, okay, do we want this? Do we want to take this to our new house? One of my good friends moved into a new house and she said that she took each item and she said, looked at the item and said, does this item deserve to be in my beautiful new house? And I was like, I love that. That's my filter. I looked at my dish towels and I was like, do you deserve to be in my new kitchen? No, you don't. Towels that we got 10 years ago from our wedding registry that are brown and red, you do not deserve to be in my new bathroom. No. So like, we're like looking at stuff, I'm like, I'm purging. But some stuff you're like, okay, no. I can take you. I will take you. But sometimes it just takes like looking in the places you just never look. I mean, isn't it crazy? We opened up a drawer, you guys. These doors opened up and there were just files. And we looked, and it was like 10-year-old files with like random bills and like water bill and like all this stuff. And we're like, what is this? So like, again, the places in your house that you just never open them up. And the same is true with your money. Look at your budget and use this filter. Ask yourself, okay, does this budget category not only deserve to have this much money in it, but also, do I just need to rearrange and open up other parts of our financial life and get it all out on the table? Feels good, because when you clean up even your house and your budget, things just feel better. And they do, yes. All right, coming up next is a couple who paid off $16,000 in 9 months by cleaning out their house and their budget. Well, Alex and Todd, thank you guys so much for coming on the show and sharing your story.
Thank you so much for having us.
Absolutely. So this episode is all about spring cleaning, and you guys spring cleaned your life and your money. And I'm just curious, take me back to what was the catalyst that caused you both to change the way you handle your money?
Yeah, it was Christmas. It was right after Christmas of 2018. I did a really big no-no. We had like $80 in our bank account and I had to tell Todd, I couldn't hide from it at all. So he had to come home from work and I had to be like, babe, I'm so sorry, but we don't have any money and we can't pay the bills and I don't know what to do. And I was really nervous that he was going to be really, really upset, but he was so humble and just, we're going to figure this out. Like everything's going to be okay. And I met with a really good friend at church, and her name is Stephanie, and she gave me the total money makeover. And she was just very blunt with me. And she basically said in the nicest way possible, like, this is kind of your fault. This is all of your fault, but you are also the solution. So,
wow,
so I'm so thankful that I had a friend like that in need. And it was the exact words that I needed to hear at the time. So when I got the book, 24 hours later, I was done. And I told Todd all about it. And I was like, this is what we have to do. This is totally what we're doing. And he was like, yeah, let's do it. Let's just do it. So then we laid everything out on the table. We pretty much went through our bank account with a fine tooth comb. I mean, everything. What were we spending on eating out? What were we spending on groceries? What were little things that we found that, like a subscription that we just forgot to cancel? We found a few of those, and that freed up $30 a month in our budget. And
that's amazing. So you guys, it was really out of kind of this desperation, you would say, $80 left.
Yeah.
And it was something has to change. Okay, Todd, what did you think when you came home from work and she's like, listen, this is our reality. This is what's happened. What did you say? What were you thinking?
Like she said, we both knew that something needed to change. And I knew that, and I knew that freaking out wasn't really going to help anything. So, I just said we need to figure this out. We can figure it out together, but we've got to make a change here.
But you guys really worked as a team, you would say. You guys kind of locked arms, because where before it was more you, Alex, doing all the money stuff, obviously, because Todd wasn't aware that there was only $80 left. So you guys worked though more as a team, would you say, on the other side of it?
Oh yeah, I mean, now we sit down together and we're literally doing a budget together. And it's just funny that we're talking about spring cleaning because the week afterwards, when we talked about the plan and how we were going to do the plan, and Maria Kondo came up with her tidying up episode.
Oh yeah.
And I watched it in the whole house. Everything that either A, did not bring me joy, or B, we have not used was getting sold. And Todd actually came home from work one day and all of his clothes were in a pile on our bed. And I was like, I need 2 garbage bags. I don't care what is going, but I need 2 garbage bags. And Todd likes to hold on to some things. So he actually had 3 garbage bags. He had 2 that were, okay, you can get rid of / sell. And then he had a small Walmart sack of camp shirts from when he was a kid that he had to keep, but that don't fit him. But
They're going up in my man cave.
Todd, I'm with you. I have college sorority shirts that I'm like, it's near and dear to my heart. I get it, Todd. I get it a little
Absolutely.
bit.
I don't get it, but I put them in a bag very nicely, folded them, and now they're in it. We call it the Todd tote. So
Hilarious.
But yeah, we sold everything. And so
how much money did you make from selling all your stuff? Because we tell people sell your stuff to pay off debt, fund your emergency fund, everything.
I would say it was around $500. It funded like half of our emergency fund.
That's amazing.
And, we got the kids involved and our little ones really took to it. I would have them hold it just like Maria Kondo. And I was like, does this bring you joy? And my littlest, who is 3 years old, she was like, no. And I'm like, perfect. Yes. So yeah.
Something else we can get out of there.
Yeah.
That's awesome. So you did talk about kind of spring cleaning your budget itself, not just your house. And you mentioned like subscriptions. That was saving you what? $30?
Yeah, it was like $30 a month that we just forgot to cancel. And like I said, kind of like Maria Kondo, we just laid all of the account on the table. And then we sifted through that. And then we kind of started from there. Like, okay, what is a normal grocery budget for a family of 6? Let's start from there. And I feel like ever since then, we've always been spring cleaning our budget because we're always looking for ways to downsize it. Recently we got rid of all paper towel because with 4 kids, we're just using paper towel like it's going out of style.
Me too. I get that.
So we got rid of them and now I bought dollar store washcloths and we just continue to rewash them. So now we don't buy paper towel anymore. We're trying to get on the like glass paper plates wagon, but it's just really hard. Those dishes every day. I'm trying.
So you guys y'all went down to like the nitty gritty in this. I mean, that's what's amazing about it. So Todd, what was the hardest thing that you guys have cut out that you were like, oh man, that's a sacrifice. You feel it.
I think the paper towels were actually pretty hard on both of us. That was took a bit of work, but it was good.
Yeah, absolutely. So you guys are in the thick of Financial Peace University right now. You're in the middle of it. So tell me about like your goals. You guys want to be debt free. When is that going to happen? Like, what are you guys working on now?
Yeah, when we started, we were like, oh man, we could be debt free, by the end of by the end of 2020, like we can do this. And then when we really started doing it and our snowball really started rolling and we were just like, oh my gosh, we can be debt free by like March of 2020. And
That's
it was just like eye opening. And that just like is a driving force for us to continue to do what we're doing. And we led the FPU at our church in the new year. So
you guys were coordinators.
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh, that's awesome. How was that experience?
Oh, it was so cool. It was awesome to see the light bulbs go off in our friends' minds. I mean, when they would watch the second video, because it's all about debt, you could just see all of our closest friends like, wow, yes, like we need this in our life. And so all of us have kind of been cheering each other on, and we created a little tight knit Facebook group just between the few of us to really help encourage us to, not go to Target and pay our bills and more. So yeah, it was really, really awesome.
So great. Okay, so Todd, tell me how you guys felt pre-spring cleaning the budget and the money, like what life was like before, and now what does it feel like after the fact that you guys are budgeting, you're paying off debts? Like, what's the difference?
Oh, it's huge. It's a huge difference. It's awesome. Beforehand, we were, like we said, we just were spending money on a lot of things we didn't need. We were eating out or getting coffee or whatever, just little things that you don't notice as much. And as soon as we got on board, like she said, first thing we did was we scrubbed our bills, scrubbed our budget and our bank account, and just seeing all this stuff that we didn't need. And so now looking back, it's like we had all this extra money that we were just throwing away, basically, that we could have been spending on things that were important. So
that's so good. I know we always say that when you budget, you feel like you got a raise. Would you say that that's true?
Oh my gosh. I remember we did our first budget and I was like, we have X amount of dollars. This is awesome. And he was like, that's what happens when we're not.
Yes. Oh, I love it, you guys. Well, you are seriously like the best story of what it looks like to be quote unquote normal in America with your money, and then doing some weird stuff like spring cleaning your budget, paying off debt, funding your emergency fund, all those things. You're doing weird stuff, but the results are what's absolutely incredible. And you guys are just living testimony that when you put your mind to something and you actually take ownership, like you said, your friend said,
yeah,
you did this, like you have it, but you have the control and the ability to change everything. And you guys took that on and took that seriously. Now your sweet little 4 girls are going to have a different life because of what you guys are doing today. And I just think it's amazing. So thank you so much for coming on and sharing your story.
Thank you so much.
For having us.
Yeah, this was awesome.
You guys are amazing. Well, coming up next, we've been talking about spring cleaning your budget. Now we're going to talk about organizing other parts of your life. Family is one of the most important parts of my life, and making sure everyone is taken care of is a top priority. That includes more than just meal planning, entertaining the kids, and taking care of all the day-to-day needs. That's why I recommend having life insurance. Now, when you're shopping for it, you might wonder, should I get term life insurance or whole life insurance? I always recommend term insurance. It's going to save you tons of money that you can put towards paying off your debt and funding your emergency fund. For a 30-year-old male, a 20-year, $250,000 policy would cost just $15 a month for term life. However, the same policy for whole life would be $190 per month. That is a huge difference. Winston and I use Zander Insurance. They do all the work for you by finding you the best prices and options customized to your needs. To learn more, call Zander today or go to Zander.com, because that's who we trust to take care of our family. All right, we all know kids clutter up our lives. So being organized is so key. So I brought in Susan Spencer to help us declutter our lives when it comes to kids. So thank you for coming on.
Well, thank you for having me. And it is true, children can kind of create a little bit of mess in their paths.
Just a little bit. So we actually have 3 areas that we're gonna declutter. And so the first one is here, and a playroom, which is just adorable. So playrooms, it's like the black hole of toys,
yes,
is what it feels like at times.
Right, and even though it's a black hole, that doesn't mean that you can't put some semblance of order in this.
Yes.
And we've come up with some really fun ways to do this, and you can do this using everyday household things. You don't even need to go out and buy anything. So let me show you a couple of ideas. First of all, we have ordinary kitchen canisters, super easy. They usually hold beans and flour and stuff like that. Great for corralling pencils.
So cute.
Or pipe cleaners or any other supplies that you want to put in here.
And I love clear stuff because I feel like kids' toys and everything, they're so colorful. So
right,
you still
so
get
pretty.
the fun. Yeah, you still get the fun
A little
colors.
bit of a decorative moment.
That's right,
So it's
that's
fun.
right.
Another kind of a decorative moment is, of course, you want to display your children's artwork. You can buy in inexpensive frames, but one thing that I love to do is just get really fun Plano clipboards. So it doesn't have to be fancy. You can even mount them on the wall if you want.
No fancy
you can
frames.
switch
You can
them
just
out,
do it out.
as they
Yes.
do them. So super fun, super
So
easy, and inexpensive
cute.
thing to do.
Love it.
And I also find that paints are very, very messy. So one way to corral paints and try to keep the mess factor way down is just get an ordinary dish soap container and just put paints in it. So
that's so
super
smart.
fun, and then you can just squeeze it out, and no fuss, no muss, and kind of corrals your kids and
So
lets them
easy.
be creative, but at the same time not super messy.
Yes, we love that. Order. We love order around kids. Oh, it's so great. And art supplies, it's perfect. Such good stuff. All right, coming up next, we're going to talk about how to organize the closet. All right, next place to organize, kids' closets. So We have these really cute bags.
We do.
I can't wait to hear all about it, Susan.
So I think kids' closets are another clutter hotspot where stuff really, really tends to accumulate. So our recommendation here is to create a series of canvas bags with different labels on them. We have homework, crafts, and we even have sports back here.
Yes.
And basically give them to your kids and let them run around the house and collect all their stuff. Then they can store them in the closet, or they can take this around with them as well. So homework can go from the playroom, the closet, to the playroom, to the kitchen, wherever they're doing their homework. So it's just a great system. So these particular bags are from Land's End. They're about $40, but you can come up with much less expensive alternatives. You can actually just find regular canvas bags, give your kids some Sharpies, have them decorate them. You don't have to actually do the full-on monogramming, but how cute is that?
So great. Because our stuff, I feel like it piles up at the bottom of the steps.
Yes.
And half the time I'm always like, okay, Amelia, the 4-year-old, I'm like, just grab a couple things and I'll grab stuff. When you have this, you can already just organize it as you go.
Right, exactly.
Makes it so easy. I love it. That's great. All right, so next tip. I can't wait to go because I need it probably more than all of these things. The car. Organizing the car. That's what's up next. All right, last place we need organization is in our cars.
Yep.
So there's some great tips here. I love it.
Yeah, I think the car is actually the place where that collects the most clutter. I was cleaning out my car a few weeks ago and I found a Lego piece from 2010.
Yeah, there you go.
Really, really
Story
bad.
of my life. Story of my life.
So the key to success is to try to corral as much stuff. So you want to give stuff to your kids before they get into the car and then have them take it out of their car. So the easiest way to do that is really literally to contain them. So you could put little craft supplies, you can put snacks, you can put all sorts of things into these little zippered containers, super easy.
So easy.
Or even easier, a nice Ziploc bag. Everything goes in there, super easy, take it to the car, take it back. Really fun.
Keep it all together.
Right.
All together.
Exactly. And another way that I love to organize things are with these cute little shower holders. Now you might see these inside your shower and in your bathtub. You can put snacks in, you can put little toys. It keeps them contained so they don't end up all over the car.
I love it. And the snacks, it's easy to access.
Yes.
Like, to get, because I know my kids are always like, we're hungry, and I'm like I'm driving, trying to get them snacks.
Right.
It's all right there.
All right there.
Brilliant.
Super easy.
So good. Wow, all these organization tips. Wonderful, Susan. Thank you.
You're welcome.
So much. To get more tips and tricks just like this, you can go to womansday.com or pick up the latest Woman's Day magazine issue on newsstands today. Oh, that was such a fun episode. Thanks so much to Alex and Todd for sharing their inspiring money journey. And thanks to Women's Day for all their organizing tips. I know they'll help me out a ton. Now, if you're looking for a way to freshen up your budget, you may want to check out my 14-day money finder. It might just help you clean up a few of your budget categories and find some money while doing it. Now, to get that and everything else I mentioned in this episode, click the link in the show notes. Thank you guys so much for watching. Make sure to subscribe to my YouTube channel and podcast and follow my Facebook page for more great money tips. And as always, make sure to take control of your money and create a life you love.